Bills Mafia, before we jump into today's massive story, let me start by saying this loud and clear. Your Buffalo Bills are working non-stop to improve, grow, and evolve after a chaotic end to the 2025 season. Every decision being made right now, every interview, every rumor, every negotiation is part of a bigger mission to bring better results, more stability, and ultimately, a championship back to Buffalo. And because this channel is all about keeping you updated with exclusive Bills coverage, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and make sure you're subscribed. You do not want to miss the next 48 hours of news. And just a quick reminder, for anyone looking for official Bills gear, whether it's a Josh Allen jersey, hoodies, hats, or new releases, I left the link to the official Fanatics store in the description and comment. It updates every day with fresh items, and grabbing your gear through that link also helps support the channel. Now, let's get into today's headline, because it's a big one. We have breaking news from NFL Network. The Arizona Cardinals officially interviewed Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady for their head coaching vacancy on Tuesday. Yes, you heard that right. Brady, the architect behind one of the league's most productive offenses this past season, is suddenly right in the middle of the NFL hiring cycle. Let's break down what this means. Joe Brady has been with the Bills organization for the past 4 seasons. He originally joined the staff as Josh Allen's quarterbacks coach in 2022 and 2023, the crucial years when Allen refined his mechanics, controlled turnovers better, and re-established himself as one of the most dominant dual-threat quarterbacks in the league. Then came November 2023. Ken Dorsey was fired, the offense was flat, momentum was slipping, and Joe Brady stepped in as the interim offensive coordinator, immediately injecting rhythm, creativity, and calm into the unit. By 2024, the Bills handed him the keys permanently. And in 2025, his offense ranked 4th in total yards, 376.3 per game, 4th in points, 28.3 per game. That's elite. That's top tier, and that's exactly the kind of resume that puts you on a plane to Arizona for a head coaching interview. But he's not only interviewing with the Cardinals. According to reports, Brady already spoke with the Las Vegas Raiders and has a second interview scheduled with the Baltimore Ravens. This man is officially one of the hottest names in the coaching market. And Bills Mafia, here's the question that matters. If Brady leaves, what happens to Josh Allen in the direction of this offense? We'll come back to that, but first, let's look at the other major headlines shaking the franchise right now. Ever since Sean McDermott was fired on Monday after 9 seasons, Bills fans have been dreaming about big names, and perhaps no name was bigger than Mike Tomlin. A Super Bowl champion, a culture stabilizer, one of the most respected leaders in league history, and someone many fans believed could take Josh Allen over the hump. But according to a new update from Connor Orr of Sports Illustrated, Tomlin is effectively off the board for Buffalo. And the reason is simple: the price is way too high. The Steelers still own Tomlin's rights after he signed a 3-year extension in June 2024, which includes a team option for 2027. If a team wanted to trade for him, Pittsburgh would demand compensation greater than what the Saints received for Sean Payton. To refresh your memory, Denver traded a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 second-rounder in exchange for Sean Payton and a 2024 third-rounder. Tomlin would cost more, maybe significantly more. Connor Orr put it bluntly, "I don't think Tomlin is a factor here. The Bills are not about to ship out first-rounders, especially during Josh Allen's prime, for a coach who may not even want the job." And that brings us to the next key point. Even before Sean McDermott was fired, multiple insiders reported that Tomlin was preparing to take at least 1 year away from coaching to reset, decompress, and evaluate future opportunities. ESPN's Brooke Pryor and Jeremy Fowler confirmed that Tomlin may eventually want a ground-up rebuild type of job, not a win-now roster like Buffalo. After leaving Pittsburgh, Tomlin reportedly slipped right into leisure mode. Orr even said, "I checked on Mike Tomlin. He's already in leisure mode. Good for Mike Tomlin." Translation: no matter how appealing Josh Allen is, no matter how talented this roster is, no matter how passionate Bills Mafia is, Mike Tomlin is simply not coaching in 2026. Bills fans, let's zoom out. The Bills have a franchise quarterback in his prime, a roster built to compete right now, a fan base starving for a championship, a front office under pressure to make the right move. Sean McDermott's firing wasn't about rebuilding. It wasn't about tearing the roster down. It wasn't about hitting reset. It was about making the final push. It was about fixing the details McDermott couldn't fix. It was about elevating Josh Allen and closing the final gap between Buffalo and a Lombardi trophy. And that means one thing: the Bills need an offensive vision that matches the urgency of this moment. Can Joe Brady be that guy? Maybe. But what if he's hired by Arizona or Baltimore? What if the Bills lose both their head coach and their offensive coordinator in the same week? This coaching cycle is not just interesting, it's critical. The firing of Sean McDermott shocked some players, frustrated others, and split the fan base. But what came next might be even more surprising. Instead of restructuring the organization with checks and balances, the Bills not only kept Brandon Beane as manager, they promoted him to president of football operations. In the NFL, that essentially means he's now operating mostly unchecked, with only Terry Pegula above him. And according to insiders, Pegula believes Beane is nothing short of a genius. But Bills Mafia, here's the question the entire league is quietly asking. Does Brandon Beane truly deserve that level of power, or are the Bills marching straight towards an NFL cliff? Let's break this down. Look, drafting in the NFL is hard. Every GM misses. Every front office swings and strikes out sometimes. That's part of the game. But how many general managers stand in front of cameras and publicly complain about where they pick? Brandon Beane does. After the 2023 season, Beane defended his draft struggles by pointing at the Bengals, saying Cincinnati had an advantage because they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase thanks to lean years and top 5 picks. Translation: we're too good to draft good players. Except that's not how this works, and here's the kicker. Beane could have drafted Puka Nacua 4 different times. Instead, he selected Dalton Kincaid, Osiris Torrance, Dorian Williams, and Justin Shorter. And yes, the same Justin Shorter who never played a snap for Buffalo and is now a Raider. Meanwhile, Puka Nacua became a 2-time Pro Bowler with over 4,000 yards and 19 touchdowns in 3 seasons. That's not bad luck, that's a glaring miss. But it gets worse. Before the 2025 season, Beane doubled down on his draft excuses again. We're not ever picking in the top 5-10.
It's hard to get a game-wrecking defensive player when you pick where we pick. But is that actually true? Let's look at a few examples. Players drafted after when the Bills typically pick: Patrick Queen, T. Higgins, Jonathan Taylor, Nico Collins, George Pickens, Trey McBride, Devon Achane, Cooper DeJean. These aren't fringe guys. These are stars, and many of them could have changed the trajectory of Buffalo's roster. But instead of drafting those impact players, here's what Beane did. Drafted Gregory Rousseau and Boogie Basham instead of Nico Collins. Drafted Kyer Elam while George Pickens and Trey McBride were still on the board. Drafted Keon Coleman over Cooper DeJean. And listen, Bills fans want to believe in Keon Coleman, but the wide receiver room is still one of the weakest in the AFC. Let's be real. Shakir is the wide receiver 1? Behind him, Cooks, Coleman, Palmer, Samuel, Hardman, Gosnell, Shavers. That looks more like a UFL depth chart than a group built to support Josh Allen. And this is the man Buffalo just handed more power to. Here's where the concern becomes real. By giving Beane control over roster construction, oversight of football operations, authority in the coaching search, final say on long-term organizational decisions, Buffalo is now placing the franchise's future in the hands of one man who built solid rosters but never built a championship one, made good mid-round finds but consistently missed on difference makers, managed the cap well but failed to give Josh Allen the elite supporting cast he needs. And now Bills fans have to ask themselves, If Beane couldn't get it right before, why should we believe more power will help now? Because here's the truth. Buffalo didn't fire McDermott just to plateau. They fired him because Josh Allen is 30 in May. The clock is ticking. The Super Bowl window is now, not 3 years from now. But Brandon Beane's track record shows a pattern. Excuses, draft misses, overconfidence, and not enough elite talent added through the draft. The Bills are betting big on him, and it could backfire. Maybe. Josh Allen still had a career-high 69.3% completion rate. He still carried this team. He still masked a lot of flaws. But he was also reckless in the biggest moments of the playoffs. He forced throws, he took unnecessary risks, and he showed frustration because he knows this roster isn't doing him any favors. Allen might have 4 to 5 elite seasons left, but if the Bills keep giving him a mediocre supporting cast, if they keep missing in the first and second rounds, if they keep patchworking positions with stopgap free agents, Allen won't be able to save them from falling off that NFL cliff. So, let's bring this home. Joe Brady is now a top candidate for multiple head coaching jobs across the league. If he's hired, Buffalo will need a new offensive coordinator, and that decision will directly impact Josh Allen's future. Mike Tomlin? He's officially off the table. The price is too high, the timing is wrong, and the interest isn't mutual. The Bills now must navigate a coaching search that defines the next 5 years of the franchise. And this is where I want to hear from you. Should the Bills fight to keep Joe Brady at all costs? Who do you want to see as the next head coach? Is there a candidate you believe can take Josh Allen and this offense to a championship level? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And before you head out, smash that like button, subscribe for more breaking Bills news, comment your opinions. Official Buffalo Bills gear, new drops, and exclusive items are all in the link below. Check it out, Bills Mafia. This is going to be one of the most important off-seasons in Buffalo Bills history, and I'll be here every day bringing you the latest updates, exclusive reports, and in-depth analysis. Go Bills, and let's get this right.